Hey guys, how we doing? You're here with John Anthony. Welcome to a very, very special edition of Chair Shot Sports. Some big news to announce. We have officially been signed to Live 365 Radio, which is a mobile app radio station with a lot of budding podcasters, DJs, and musical talent. Well, now add Chair Shot Sports to their lineup every Saturday at 6 o'clock. You can find us live with our podcast there on their radio station. So while we're filming, obviously, our YouTube, as you're listening right now, being Saturday, we are also now with our first episode on The Block 105. Also, in making announcements, some sad news to report. One of our great followers on X, her name is Jade Cargil. Her and me bonded and came across each other on Twitter a couple of years ago. We both had the honor and privilege of meeting Bray Wyatt at a big event in New York City. She was probably the internet's biggest Bray Wyatt fan. I know it's said a lot of times, oh, number one fan. This man saved her from a lot of things she had going on mentally in her personal life. She met him on countless occasions. He would retweet her. They would, have conversations outside of Twitter personally. Unfortunately, Jody has passed on, is no longer with us. It was awesome for me to get the opportunity to talk to her and bond over Bray Wyatt. Obviously, Bray was a very special individual, a very charismatic and unique man who helped a lot of people with either mental illness or just getting through their day-to-day things. So this episode is dedicated to Jody, who is now a true Firefly and is with Bray. Not to bring the mood down, obviously, we have a lot of things to talk about. We have King and Queen of the Ring coming up this weekend. We also have AEW's Double or Nothing on top of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. So a very booked up week if you're a wrestling fan. Also, don't forget about Impact TNA as well. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's talk about the King and the Queen of the Ring. A couple weeks ago when we gave our predictions, we had Gunther coming out from the men's bracket, and we had Tiffany Stratton coming out of the women's bracket. Well, we're still halfway there. We have Gunther still on board. Tiffany was taken out by Bianca Belair, and she went ahead and moved on in her tourney to go toward the finals. So upcoming this Monday night, we have the King of the Ring semis. We have Gunther and Jey Uso. And on SmackDown, we have Tama Tonga taking on Randy Orton. We have that going. Gunther on Raw, Randy Orton taking out Tama Tonga moving forward. And over on this upcoming Saturday, King of the Ring, Gunther will prevail and be the King of the Ring. A lot of surprising losses, really, I think, to me and to a lot of other people in the internet wrestling community that had a lot of predictions. LA Knight going down to Tama Tonga. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I think the King of the Ring, if they're going back to the way it used to be, King of the Ring is where you won that and not necessarily catapult you right into the main event for the world title, but definitely you should see one of these guys, especially Gunther, that's going to catapult him right up to main event status, as if he wasn't already there at the first place. This kind of tournament is not something that LA Knight needs. LA Knight is over. He's very organically gotten over with the fans. And I think LA Knight, I know last year was a big deal, Money in the Bank. Him not winning was just looked at across the community as a wasted opportunity and just kind of wasting his talent. Triple H is the one guy who said it in that press conference after that, good things come to those who wait. And I think, obviously, LA Knight has a contract coming up. They're still waiting to sign that. I think those kind of dealings are something you're not going to really hear about. I think you saw the whole thing with Drew McIntyre when he was finally reported as being signed. It was a done deal for a while. It went on. Even the releases now are talked about. They're kind of not under the table or swept under the carpet, but they're just very quietly talked about on Twitter, on the WWE website. We've come to terms, best in your future endeavors kind of thing. But anyway, I think Money in the Bank is probably the way that LA Knight is going to go. And the same way with, obviously, we had Tiffany Stratton pegged to be the Queen of the Ring. I think Money in the Bank is a shoo-in for her at this point. I think with her losing this in this tournament, moving on, I think she's probably going to be moving on, a very big, clear front runner to be grabbing that briefcase when that pay-per-view rolls around out of Toronto. And we're talking about a little bit more about Tiffany Stratton, a little bit, well, she's been in the headlines a little bit later in the show. So, yeah, with that being said, it's going to be a Gunther Randy Orton final over in Jeddah this upcoming Saturday, the 25th. Gunther going over there. And then you go to the women's side. You have the semis this week for them as well. You have Valkyria going against Io Sky over on Raw. And then on SmackDown, we have Bianca Belair taking on Nia Jax to move over into the finals. The finals I have it going this upcoming Saturday is going to be Lila and Nia Jax going one-on-one. Nia getting over to the finals is awesome. Again, we have to look at, too, is she kind of cleared her brand. So that definitely helps Nia where she is on SmackDown. Doesn't really need to go the whole way and win the actual, the actual crown or the tiara, however you want to call it, being the queen of the ring. I think this is where Lila Victoria is going to go over. This is going to be a big stepping stone for her. Kind of puts her into a woman's title, at least picture, getting an opportunity now coming up from NXT, being the NXT Women's Champion before, getting the call up to Raw. So Lila and Nia Jax over on Saturday, over in Jeddah, we have Lila Victoria becoming the Queen of the Ring this upcoming Saturday. So while we're talking about the King and the Queen actual tournaments, let's talk about the PLE itself over in Jeddah. So one of the other big matches that's going to be happening over there, you have Sami Zayn, also Bronson Reed and Chad Gable in a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. I think this is going to be a hell of a match, a banger. All three of those gentlemen. Bronson Reed, for being a bigger dude, can definitely get it done in the ring. Chad Gable is obviously a machine, Kurt Angle 2.0. And then there's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is just the ultimate underdog, but when he is on top, he is the champion. He knows how to perform. He puts on bangers wherever he does in that ring. I have Sami Zayn retaining. I just think it was too much of a climb for him to have that moment and win that. And I don't think it does a service to Gunther to have Sami be a transitional champion. I know at this point, obviously, Gunther's moved on from that. He's on the King of the Ring. He's going to look into the World Heavyweight Championship. But I just think it's a disservice for whoever beated Gunther for that title. I just think it's a disservice to have them be transitional and just kind of donkey it up to Gable or to Bronson Reed. And once it became a triple threat, I think it's one of those things where, you could have some kind of interference. Maybe someone from the Alpha Academy ends up costing, Gable the match. Maybe this is going to start being the dis-evolution of Alpha Academy. And Bronson Reed, I mean, I know it's very frustrating for him. He's on social media. He's talking about how frustrating it is, not being able to get to that title and be able to win it and attain it. So maybe we're coming out of the King and Queen of the Ring PLE. If Gable is kind of screwed over by someone in his group, maybe that kind of, and if Reed isn't the one who's pinned, maybe Zayn is the one who pins Gable. Kind of leaves Bronson Reed, the guy, he didn't pin me, and sets them up maybe for a Money in the Bank match for the IC title, or they do something on TV as well. So another match also, Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan finally getting her hands on Becky Lynch for an opportunity for the Raw Women's Championship. I think it's going to be a great match. I think they're going to do a lot of great things. Unfortunately, I don't think Liv is going to be capturing that title. I think she made a lot of great points. She's obviously the one who took out Rhea Ripley, so without her, Becky doesn't get her championship match. Becky's the one who took Liv out to win the match in the Battle Royal. I think those two can put on a good match. I'm a big fan of what Becky does in the ring. I've gone on record as saying I think Liv needs some more work. I think from this match, I think if she does lose to Becky Lynch, I think maybe Liv goes down to NXT for a little bit, gets into a little bit of a program down there for the women's title. Works out some stuff, does some more mic work, and comes back up when Rhea's here and continues the revenge tour, and maybe at that point is able to slay the dragon and beat the demon and beat Rhea Ripley, and attain the world Women's Championship over on Raw. And the biggest match that everyone's really talking about right now is Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. And what a lot of people, myself included, looked like it was going to be a title versus title match, champion versus champion as it's being billed. As we found out this past Friday, it's only going to be, as of right now, things can change before on SmackDown before Jeddah. But I believe that's going to be taped, so we'll kind of get a word of what's going on about that. Um, yeah, Cody Rhodes is putting up the Undisputed Championship against Logan Paul. And while we're talking about that, I see a lot of people getting a lot upset about this card. Why Logan Paul was the one guy who gets to go up against Cody Rhodes. The one thing you need to understand is when WWE goes over there and they get their money and they're getting paid to put on a show over there. 9 times out of 10, the people who are putting that on in Jeddah, the princes, whoever it is, they get their pick of some of these quote unquote dream matches that they want to see. I'm sure they're very big on Logan Paul over there. Every time they're going over, he's on the card. He's doing something in somewhat of a main event over there. So I would have to think that Logan Paul was not the first person that they wanted to roll out against Cody Rhodes after his match at Backlash. But I'm sure someone over there wanted to see that. So that's what you get. And a lot of people need to understand that when it comes to these PLEs that go over there, the Crown Jewels, the King of the Rings, all that stuff. They have a say on what they want to see. Yeah, is Cody going to retain? 99.8% chance, shake the 8 ball. Yeah, all signs are pointing to yes, he's going to retain. I mean, I don't think they get to call the finishes over there, but they definitely do get to set up the matches. So with that being said, we have Cody Rhodes going over in his undisputed title match against Logan Paul. I think if I had to guess, it might be something where Logan Paul goes to use maybe the nefarious tactics of the brass knucks and 14 people from his entourage trying to interfere. I don't know if anyone helps or maybe steps in on Cody's behalf to help him out to even the score. Most recently, Cody was quoted on Busted Open Radio's quoting that he needs to go find a old school manager to assist him in this title run. And I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but there's been a lot of rumors. We talked about it. We posted on X. We talked about it a little bit. Jesse the Body Ventura is looking to get back in with WWE. This might be a place where he is called back and assists Cody Rhodes in his title run as being his manager. And, good old Arn Anderson might also be someone who might help him out too. So you never know what happens with that. So those are our picks for King and Queen of the Ring. But also, that's Saturday. And after Saturday, we got ourselves a good old Double or Nothing pay-per-view being thrown up from Vegas by AEW. A stacked card. This is a great matches up and down the card. So we'll just start in no particular order. So we'll start, obviously, with one of the bigger matches. We have the Elite, which is the EVPs, Jack Perry, and the Rainmaker taking on Team AEW, which is FTR, Darby Allin, and Bryan Danielson, and an Anarchy in the Arena match. I think this is going to be an awesome match. Two guys coming back from injury, Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson, who's stated since saying he's coming back for this match, he is not 100%. It's going to be very interesting with some of the spots that they have these guys do, especially the craziness that ensues within Anarchy in the Arena. That's going to be a great match. We have Team AEW going over. I think Kenny Omega is going to make his presence felt somewhere, some way, shape, or form in this match. Obviously, not really being able to wrestle too much right now, but with something in Anarchy in the Arena can get involved with in a no DQ situation, and makes his presence felt and gets one over for Team AEW to continue that whole the feud of the No Tony Khan and the EVPs running AEW. Next matchup, you have Adam Copeland and Malachi Black for the TNA Championship in a barbed wire steel cage match. That match is going to. I'm pretty sure that match will steal the show. That match is going to be amazing with those two getting their hands on each other. Wild stuff. I think a lot of cool things are going to happen in that match being in the steel cage. Lights going out, people popping in and out. I think it's going to be amazing. A lot of blood. A lot of blood is going to be spilled in this match. Very excited for it. Cope going back to the old school edge days. He said, if you want that edge, you got that edge. And Malachi, obviously an amazing wrestler as well. And I think you have the House of Black being able to get involved as well, sliding in and out with lights on and off. I think that's going to be an amazing match. I think this is where Malachi finally gets his hands on the title. I think Malachi Black goes over as the new TNT champion, getting his hands on a championship in AEW. Also, too, you never know. At some point, Christian could get involved. Obviously he has something down the road on the card that night, facing off against Swerve, but you never know, he could get involved as well. or someone from his group as well could also help Malachi get his hands on the belt. Next up, we have Will Ospreay taking on Roddy Strong for the International Championship. I think this is, again, both guys can go. Roderick is amazing. Ospreay is a phenom. Again, another first. I think you're going to see Will Ospreay finally get his hands on some gold over in AEW. It's going to happen. It's going to be the International Championship. So Ospreay, again, it's probably going to be a lot of opportunities for 5-star matches on this card. Ospreay is going to be able to pull off the trick. He's going to be able to grab that title, and it's going to be an amazing match getting that belt. Toni Storm, Serena Deb for the AEW Women's Championship. Not too excited about this match. I think there were some other people that kind of gotten thrown into there. Big fan of Serena. Big fan. Nothing against her. But I think this match was just kind of one they put together. I think it's a stepping stone where you might see more, with more things going on in Toni Storm's group. Mariah May maybe either doing something inadvertently to maybe cost her the match, or you might see some things where you wanted to see, kind of waiting for her to turn against Toni to get her shot at the belt. There's been countless times where people have asked Toni Storm about when she gets her shot. She looks amazing in the ring. She's getting so much better. Next question, please, and just moves on. So I think that's going to be awesome to watch. But Toni Storm obviously going over. She's going to retain her AEW Women's Championship. Speaking of Women's Championships, Mercedes Moné makes her pay-per-view debut in the ring for them against Willow Nightingale for the TBS Women's Championship. I think this match is going to go a lot of back and forth. Willow has gotten so much better in that ring. Since I was watching her down the street at the White Eagle in Worcester. And obviously Mercedes Moné, we know what she can do in the ring. We've seen her in WWE. We've seen her over in New Japan. We obviously know she can go. She's a good, phenomenal talent. AEW spent a lot of money to get her on their roster. So the way I see it going, I think Mercedes is gonna get that belt from Willow, which I think it's a short title reign for Willow, which is why I think she's doing some more some TV defenses as well. But I think it's going to happen at the hands of Statlander turning on her, and kind of, you've seen some things teased a little bit when they're all on screen together. And I think Statlander's going to turn, or maybe do something inadvertently and cost Willow that, where they start going that route, where those two are going to feud. So Mercedes Moné walks away with gold as your new TBS champion. An amazing match, I think. I know I said the Cope and Malachi match might steal the show. This Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta match might possibly be one of the most violent matches that we're going to see in a while. The things, I think, the spots that are gonna get done here, I think Orange Cassidy's gonna take the boots to Trent. Orange Cassidy is gonna win this walking away. I don't think either man is gonna walk away that's not bleeding, not actually hurt from this match. I think there's gonna be some wild spots. But Orange Cassidy obviously is gonna go over in this, putting up for his buddies on the what was best friends. So with that being said, obviously a great match that you're gonna see. Jon Moxley against Takeshita for the IWGP title eliminator match. I think this match is going to slay. You're going to see some good old IWGP wrestling on AEW TV. A lot of strong style stuff. Mox does an amazing job when he's wrestling for this title. With this title, taking on all newcomers and all old comers as well. But it is not for the title. It is an eliminator match. But Moxley, when he wrestles, it's like the title might as always be on the line. He's an amazing wrestler. So with all that being said, all those matches, the cherry on top. The big main course is the main event. Swerve Strickland taking on Christian for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I think this match is going to be amazing as well. Swerve is not dropping that belt anytime soon. So we have him going over. I think it's going to be a great match. I think there's going to be a lot of some people getting involved. Maybe some ref getting knocked out, stuff like that happening. A lot of false finishes, 1-2 stuff on Christian's end. But I think Swerve is definitely going to be walking away with that belt, holding on to that coming out of the pay-per-view. So with that being said, that's AEW. Let's get back to some WWE stuff, shall we? I think it's amazing where this whole Uncle Howdy, Wyatt Six stuff has gotten to at this point than what it was when we started. Let's talk about when we first started. When we first started out, there was blips, there was symbols, sounds, things like that, pics of random things. Didn't really make any sense. You had to do some digging, find out what some of these symbols meant. Um, and then we start getting URL codes of if we copy and paste those and drop those into our web browser, it's bringing us to more pictures, sound bites, cryptic videos. The videos started getting a little better. Now we're in someone's house. It's showing could be characters. Um, Now we have pictures, silhouettes of actual members of this past week on Raw and SmackDown. The announcers are acknowledging. They're like, what was that? What's up with these QR codes that are just blurping all over our screen? It happened on Raw, it happened on NXT, and it happened on SmackDown. So I think we're getting to a point now. We're acknowledging it. They went back and showed the footage of the therapist that was shown on the video that used to take care of Bray Wyatt when he was debuting the Fiend gimmick. So now if we're doing that, I mean, the cat's out of the bag. Here we go. Now we're cooking with gasoline. Like, well, let's go. Even so much to know that WWE Shop just dropped merch with it looks like a squiggly pay-per-view, a squiggly like screen all shotted up. I believe one has the bird on it, the bird symbol that they've been using has the word play up at the top, and another one has like a silhouette on it as well. It looks all like grainy and stuff like that. You can find that on WWE Shop. We're also an affiliate. Feel free to go to our site on X. Use our link. If you go through there, you get 20% off. So definitely go over there. If you're looking for it, you search Cave Bird, and you'll find those shirts. So it's amazing. So we just put a poll up on X. It's amazing where they've come for what is, I think it's been almost 2 months now, maybe 2.5 months, no, maybe a little less than that, that we've been doing all this, and with the QR codes and WWE pumping all this stuff out and just kind of dragging it along. I think we put a poll up. I think this Saturday is finally where we see something happen, somebody make an appearance, someone from the Wyatt Six is going to make their presence felt. I don't know if it's going to be an actual debut. It might be something that maybe they wanted over in Jeddah. Maybe they get involved somehow with the Cody Rhodes match. Don't know. But I think it's going to be definitely this weekend. You're going to see somewhat of a pinnacle, a catalyst, or a payoff of what we've been going for these past month or two of the QR codes. Very, very excited for that. As you can see, I have the Bray Wyatt stuff up here. Talked about a little bit in the open. I had the privilege of meeting Bray. Amazing guy. It was awesome, and it's just so good to see what Taylor or Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, is going to be able to do and carry on the legacy of what Bray wanted to do with the Fiend character. So let's switch gears a little bit. Want to talk a little bit about Tiffany Stratton. She's been in the news a little bit this past week and a half. If you don't know, on May 14th on her IG. She went ahead and showed she had a clip of a match from her when she tagged against Jade Cargil on May 3rd, prior to Backlash. And what happened was, apparently the song that played over it, it's a clip from a Shawnee the Rapper, I believe it is. Excuse myself not being hip. It's a battle rap clip that was played over it. And it was a disparaging lyric. We're not going to say it here. I know we cuss here and there. I just don't want to go ahead and say it. If you want to be nicely about it and be politically correct, it's an African-American woman, but using very slang and very derogatory. And that's the clip that played over when she was dropping an elbow drop down on Jade. So allegedly that was put up there. She put that aimed at Jade. Now all of a sudden the internet wrestling community went crazy. All of a sudden now everyone's saying that Jade Cargil and Tiffany Stratton and WWE is racist, need to cancel her. Things were running rampant that she was going to be pulled out of Queen of the Ring and her match up there, which did not happen. She did take an L to Bianca, and obviously everyone's saying that was changed. Tiffany was supposed to go to the finals. There's a reason why she took the L this past Friday. And the sources that we talked to, that I reached out to and talked to in WWE, there's absolutely no heat on her right now in the locker room, from upper management, officials, nothing. She's not walking around the back and getting looked at weird from Jade or Bianca, anybody like that. Her standing is still great. She's still looked at as one of the biggest up and coming women out of NXT right now. She did an amazing job organically in NXT, and when she got the call up, she's already being someone who's pegged to be someone who should be thrown into the WWE Women's Title picture sooner than later. With Tiffany Stratton not winning the Queen of the Ring tournament, I'd have to say that she has to be the number one option going into Money in the Bank to pull that briefcase down from the top of the ladder. And let me tell you why. Because Tiffany is the heel you love to hate. She just garners it so well. That it started from the Daddy's Little Princess gimmick, and then kind of she didn't know what she was kind of doing. Obviously, she was a pretty face. She missed some time with an injury, honing her craft a little bit. I think a big thing for her success in NXT was Nikita Lyons missing a lot of time, unfortunately, with her knee and her leg. Nikita was one of the biggest things coming out of NXT. A very big attraction. Loved online, loved by the crowds. Amazing face. People loved her. Her missing that time. Yeah, Tiffany wasn't a face, but someone had to move into that spot and get catapulted to the top. And I feel that if Nikita stayed injury free, was able to get the job done of where they wanted her to go, I feel like she would have been the one getting called up. Not that Tiffany would have gotten called up as well during the same draft, but I think Nikita would have been the one to get called up and kind of get dropped into the title picture. She's amazing physically, amazing on the mic. She's great in the ring. But definitely, Tiffany definitely benefited from that. But like I said, from who I talked to, no heat, doing great in backstage, still pegged to be someone who's going to be holding championship gold sooner than later. And like I said, definitely someone who I think is going to be grabbing that briefcase at Money in the Bank in a couple months. So that's pretty much all we got, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. So like I said, please check us out this upcoming Saturday at 6 o'clock. We're now on Live 365 Radio, 105 The Block, every Saturday at 6 o'clock. You can also find us on YouTube, also find us on X and on Instagram as well, and also on Drive Into the Top Productions. Very, very diverse amount of platforms you can find us on. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please, last time I checked, I think 96.3% of people who view and like this aren't subscribed. Give us a subscribe. Weekly content. We do special edition ones when big things are happening in WWE or AEW. We're also, next time you'll see us, we're going to have our results show. On Saturday night, we're going to do our results show for King and Queen of the Ring. And then on Sunday night, we'll also do our AEW wrap-up of Double or Nothing. That show's going to come out kind of late, I'm sure later in the night. As usually we try to go on either as the scrum is going on. Sometimes it takes a little while for AEW to get their stuff going over there with the scrum, so it's like 20-25 minutes. So we'll see how long the pay-per-view goes. With that being said, also, any questions, comments, concerns, you want to contribute something to the show, please feel free to email us. It's chairshotsports@gmail.com. Guys, get ready. It's going to be an amazing week, starting with Raw and the semis, moving with NXT, going to SmackDown, finishing up with the men's and women's semis as well, going to the finals this upcoming Saturday and Sunday. King and Queen of the Ring, AEW Double or Nothing. Guys, get excited, grab a beverage, enjoy some quality wrestling. We'll talk to you guys soon.